I checked the radar at 4 a.m. this morning, and what I saw changed everything about today's forecast. June 1st has arrived, and the atmosphere is handing Americans 3 separate severe weather setups simultaneously. 13 million people will fall asleep tonight inside a corridor where nocturnal tornadoes are genuinely possible. Nobody's telling you this, the June pattern does not ease up for 2 full weeks. The Omega block that dominated May is flat out still parked, suppressing weather for 150 million Americans. 2 upper-level lows are sandwiching a massive ridge the central U.S. is caught between them today. That ridge has suppressed the major cross-Rocky storm systems that normally fuel severe weather in May. Good grief, the first week of June is more active than anything in the last 2 weeks. The atmosphere does not reset when the calendar flips. June 1st is just another day for it. Right now, the sky is coiled, loaded, and pointing directly at 13 million people across the central U.S. The Storm Prediction Center has a slight risk active tonight from eastern Kansas into western Missouri. That slight risk covers 16,941 square miles and puts 2.57 million people in the Kansas City corridor. The atmosphere above Kansas City tonight is a pressure cooker that has been building since Wednesday. Dew points in the upper 60s across southern Missouri are among the highest we have seen this late May. A dew point of 68 degrees Fahrenheit carries more energy per cubic foot than most May setups ever see. That moisture surged northward from the Gulf of Mexico over the past 48 hours without interruption. The boundary between that Gulf moisture and drier air to the north runs right through Topeka tonight. Supercells love to develop along boundaries. They use it as a target and a fuel line. Once a supercell locks onto that boundary and tracks northeast, it can intensify very rapidly after dark. The low-level wind shear tonight is running at 200 meters squared per second squared near Kansas City. That number may sound technical. Translated, it means the atmosphere is primed to spin storms violently. Significant tornado parameters of 3 to 4 put this setup in the top 10% of plains events. For context, the top 10% of plains setups in history include some of the deadliest tornado events. I want every family in Topeka, Lawrence, Ottawa, and Emporia to treat tonight as a serious weather night. Have 2 ways to receive warnings, phone alerts, and a no AA radio before dinner tonight. If storms fire before 8 p.m. and maintain discrete mode, the tornado risk is real and immediate tonight. After 11 p.m., the tornado risk decreases as storms merge, but damaging winds take over across Missouri. St. Louis, Missouri. Your Monday morning severe risk comes from the overnight MCS arriving around 3 a.m. Cape Girardeau and Springfield, Missouri watch for overnight damaging wind gusts as the MCS sweeps through. Columbia, Missouri sits directly in the projected overnight storm track plan on a rough Monday morning. The SPC issued the slight risk specifically for this nocturnal supercell and early bow echo scenario. Pat, a retired engineer in Topeka, tonight is the night you prepared your shelter plan for. The Day 1 marginal surrounds at 357 square miles and 13.36 million people across the central U.S. Memphis, Oklahoma City, Omaha, Lincoln, and Des Moines are all inside today's marginal risk zone tonight. ML Cape of 3,000 to 4,000 joules is building across southeast Kansas and southern Missouri right now. 4,000 joules of atmospheric fuel. I am not going to pretend that number is ordinary. The surface boundary lifting northward this afternoon is the ignition switch for tonight's severe weather threats. Supercells are possible along that boundary by early evening with large hail and destructive damaging winds. Here's the thing that kept me up until 2 a.m., the nocturnal tornado window tonight. A tornado is possible near Kansas City between 9 and 11 p.m. tonight. This is real. The significant tornado parameter near Kansas City is running 3 to 4 tonight, a serious number. Topeka, Lawrence, and Ottawa, Kansas, if supercells stay discrete after sunset, your risk is elevated tonight. After midnight, storms cluster into damaging wind threats pushing towards St. Louis and Cape Girardeau, Missouri. The strongest instability axis tonight runs from Emporia, Kansas, northeast through Kansas City and Topeka. A developing nocturnal low-level jet will enhance wind shear after sunset. This is what creates late tornadoes. If a supercell stays discrete between 9 p.m. and midnight, an EF1 or stronger tornado is absolutely possible. Nocturnal tornadoes are the most dangerous kind. They strike while families are asleep and skies are dark. Every household in the Kansas City metro tonight needs wireless emergency alerts turned on every single phone. Leave your city in the comments. I will personally pull updated SPC data for your exact area. Let me tell you exactly why Kansas City tonight keeps forecasters on the edge of their seats. The low-level jet tonight will be roaring southerly winds of 50 to 60 knots at 850 millibars. That low-level jet is the invisible highway that delivers warm, moist air straight into storm updrafts. When the jet fires after 9 p.m., it injects fuel directly into any supercell that survived the day. Supercells fed by a 50-knot low-level jet at night produce the most violent tornadoes in American history. The 1999 Oklahoma City tornado, the 2011 Joplin twister both had roaring low-level jets fueling them. I am not saying tonight matches those events. The ingredients are aligned in a similar way. The storm does not need to be massive to kill an EF1 hitting a sleeping neighborhood kills. The most critical message tonight: danger is not in the storm size but in the timing. Carol, a retired nurse in Kansas City, if sirens sound after 9 p.m., go to shelter now. Do not wait to confirm on your phone. When radar confirms a tornado, it may be overhead. The rotation that produces nocturnal tornadoes is often invisible to the human eye in complete darkness. Your NOAA weather radio will wake you even if you are in the deepest sleep at 2 a.m. If you do not own a weather radio, a $30 purchase tonight could save your family's life. The Kansas City window closes by 1 a.m. as storms upscale 9 p.m. to 1 a.m. The SPC thunderstorm outlook shows 40% probability over eastern Nebraska and South Dakota today. A second 40% zone appears over southern Louisiana and coastal Florida this afternoon and evening. 40% probability in an SPC thunderstorm outlook means organized severe storm activity is essentially confirmed. Sioux Falls and Sioux City scattered storms before sunset will produce isolated hail and 60 mph gusts. Oklahoma 1 or 2 severe storms between 8 and 10 p.m. with isolated hail and gusty winds. South Dakota and North Dakota scattered storms drift southeast through the afternoon and evening hours. Isolated large hail is possible from the Dakotas south through Nebraska and Iowa in today's pattern. Arkansas and southwest Texas widely scattered storms with damaging 60 mph gusts and hail this afternoon. I need to stop right here. Monday has something developing that concerns me more than today. Let me take Wednesday and Thursday further because the pattern gets more interesting as the week unfolds. Wednesday morning starts with the remnant MCS from Tuesday pushing across Iowa and northern Illinois. Cedar Rapids, Des Moines, and Rockford, Illinois could all wake up to damaging winds Wednesday before 8 a.m. Chicago Wednesday morning brings heavy rain from that overnight MCS, winds possibly reaching 50 mph. Milwaukee, Wisconsin faces similar conditions. Wednesday morning have an umbrella and a weather app ready. By Wednesday afternoon, the upper level low over the Dakotas pulls moisture northward, heads up. Plains. A new round of afternoon storms fires along the dry line across the Texas Panhandle Wednesday, heads up. Lubbock, Texas, Amarillo, and Midland face isolated supercells Wednesday afternoon with hail up to 2 inches. The Amarillo area has seen 3 separate hail events in 10 days. Wednesday brings a 4th possibility. Thursday sees a temporary respite across the Midwest as the upper level low pulls away to the northeast. Thursday is the calm before the next storm. Good Lord, use it to recharge and restock supplies. By Thursday afternoon, scattered storms return across the Central Plains in northwest flow pattern. The GFS shows Thursday storms from northeastern Colorado through western Kansas producing hail and gusty winds. Friday is the big day. Many forecasters are circling a Pacific shortwave arrives and the threat escalates. That Friday shortwave trough has been showing up on models for 5 consecutive days without significant movement. When a feature stays locked in model data for 5 straight days, forecasters take it very seriously. The Friday severe weather threat could be the most significant single-day outbreak of the entire first week. The Southern Plains, Oklahoma City, Wichita, and Amarillo are all in the Friday severe weather spotlight. Betty, a retired teacher in Oklahoma City, Friday afternoon is your planning day. Have your shelter ready. I will have a full dedicated Friday Outlook video posted by Thursday evening. Bookmark that update now. Here is the Monday storm timeline city by city so you know exactly when to take action. Memphis, Tennessee, the first storm line arrives Monday morning between 6 and 9 a.m. with damaging winds. Nashville, Tennessee, your Monday severe window runs from 7 a.m. through 11 a.m. with hail risk. Birmingham, Alabama, and Huntsville, the first Monday storm line reaches you by 10 a.m. to noon. Atlanta, Georgia, and Chattanooga expect the Dixie Alley line between noon and 3 p.m. on Monday. Jackson, Mississippi, and Shreveport, Louisiana, Monday afternoon 2 to 5 p.m. is your highest risk window. Now shifting to the second storm line, Denver sees the second storm line by 3 p.m. Monday. Dodge City, Kansas, your severe window Monday is 4 to 7 p.m. with 70 mph gusts possible. Wichita, Kansas by 5 to 7 p.m. Monday. The bow echo from Denver sweeps through your metro. Begin Manhattan, Kansas, your Monday evening window is 6 to 9 p.m. with widespread wind damage. Kansas City, 2 consecutive nights, Monday evening 7 to 10 p.m. brings the bow echo winds. Omaha, Nebraska, the bow echo arrives Monday night between 9 p.m. and midnight with 60 mph gusts. Lincoln, Nebraska, be weather aware from Monday evening through Monday midnight. Your window is late. St. Joseph, Missouri, Monday night 9 to 11 p.m. Damaging winds possible from the consolidating MCS. Des Moines, Iowa, MCS winds arrive after midnight Monday night. Be prepared for Tuesday morning impacts. Monday is the day where 2 separate storm lines fire across 1,500 miles simultaneously. Monday's first line develops across Tennessee and Kentucky, damaging winds, and a low tornado risk exists. That first line pushes into the Dixie Alley, Alabama, Georgia, Mississippi through Monday afternoon. A second, more intense storm line develops near Denver, Colorado on Monday afternoon along the Central Plains. This second line could produce 60 to 80 mph gusts as it sweeps east across Kansas and Nebraska. 60 to 80 mph is freight train speed flipping vehicles and snapping trees in seconds. A derecho is possible Monday, not likely but not ruled out if the second line consolidates. Large hail is a real concern with the initial discrete storms before they merge into one bow echo. Kansas and Nebraska Monday afternoon into Monday evening is your single highest impact window this week. The tornado risk Monday is lower, but tornadoes cannot be ruled out in the Dixie Alley. Frank, a retired farmer near Wichita Monday afternoon, get equipment inside and have a shelter plan ready. Drop your city below the most requested location gets dedicated storm timing in tonight's full update. The southeast flooding story this week deserves much more attention than it is currently getting today. A stalled frontal boundary is draped from the Texas coast all the way to the Carolinas right now. Stationary boundaries like this one act as a magnet for repeated rounds of heavy thunderstorms and rain. Any storm over Georgia or South Carolina today will train repeatedly, no joke. Flooding accumulates fast. Training storms deliver 2 to 5 inches of rain in just a few hours over already saturated ground. Good grief, soil moisture across southern Georgia, northern Florida, and coastal South Carolina is saturated. That means the ground cannot absorb additional rainfall. It runs off immediately into streams and roads. Augusta, Georgia, Savannah, and Valdosta are at elevated flash flood risk Tuesday through Thursday morning. Atlanta faces daily afternoon storm chances all week with 1 to 2 inch rainfall totals possible each day. The cumulative rainfall total for Atlanta this week could reach 4 to 6 inches, significant urban flooding. Jacksonville, Florida, and the Panhandle face a wet week, heads up. Flash flood risk Thursday and Friday. The offshore coastal spin near the Outer Banks will enhance winds and wave heights along the entire coast. Virginia Beach residents expect breezy conditions and rough surf Tuesday and Wednesday this week. The Chesapeake Bay area faces reduced visibility and choppy water from Tuesday afternoon through Wednesday. Ocean City, Maryland, and Rehoboth Beach, Delaware beach conditions will be dangerous Tuesday and Wednesday. Atlantic City and the Jersey Shore face rough seas and 30 to 40 mph gusts this midweek. None of these coastal impacts are catastrophic, but they are disruptive and warrant your attention. Sandra, a retired school teacher near Savannah, keep checking your local NWS flash flood guidance daily. The southeast flooding threat this week is statistically more likely to injure Americans than the tornado threat. Turnaround, don't drown applies across the entire southeast and mid-Atlantic coast all week long. The drought story building across the Midwest is one of the most underreported weather crises of June 2026. Right now, soil moisture across Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, and Wisconsin is at the lowest point since 2012. The 2012 Midwest drought caused $30 billion in crop losses. Right now rhymes with that year. Corn crops in Iowa and Illinois are reaching critical growth stages right when rainfall is about to disappear. 0 to half an inch of rain across the Corn Belt between now and June 5th is... Every inch of rain below normal in June translates directly into yield losses at harvest time in October. Gary, a retired farmer near Ames, Iowa, the next 10 days will determine whether your corn. The flash drought will develop rapidly as temperatures spike into the 90s across the upper Midwest next week. Flash droughts can develop from normal conditions to severe drought in just 5 days under the right heat. Minneapolis, Minnesota will see temperatures climbing from the mid-70s to the upper 80s by this weekend. The Ohio Valley drought is significant. Cincinnati and Columbus are 2 inches below normal this spring. Meanwhile, Texas, Oklahoma, and Kansas are about to get their first significant rainfall since late April. Dallas could see 2 to 3 inches this week, the most in any single spring week. San Antonio and Austin face flash flood risk Tuesday and Wednesday from that Gulf moisture surge. Good Lord, drought relief for Texas and flooding rain threat at the same time, same country. Tuesday brings what storm chasers call high plains insanity. Good Lord, this delivers for 500 miles. The severe threat shifts to Montana and the Dakotas by Tuesday, heads up northern plains. An upper-level low arrives across the Dakotas by Tuesday, and this could be a higher-end event. Storms fire around 3 to 4 p.m. in Montana with wind, hail, and an isolated tornado possible. By late afternoon, those Montana storms cluster into a damaging wind complex moving rapidly to the northeast. North Dakota, South Dakota, and Saskatchewan, Canada are all in the path of Tuesday's bow echo tonight. Separately, Florida, southern Alabama, and southern Georgia face an isolated severe weather risk Tuesday. Remnant storm activity from Monday produces isolated large hail and damaging gusts across the southeast Tuesday. Bill, the retired teacher in Sioux Falls, have your shelter plan identified before 2 p.m. Tuesday afternoon. Wednesday continues the same relentless pattern, no joke. All hazards remain possible on the Central Plains. The upper-level low migrates northeast on Wednesday, keeping the threat alive across the entire central U.S. Texas, Panhandle, western Oklahoma, and central Kansas, all hazards are possible on Wednesday afternoon. Good Lord, this is the third consecutive day of severe weather potential across the same general corridor. The Midwest on Wednesday has high pressure building from the Ohio Valley at 1:30 millibars, suppressing storms. That sinking air from the high keeps Wisconsin, Minnesota, and Michigan mostly quiet on Wednesday. But Thursday and Friday, watch closely. A Pacific shortwave trough could change everything dramatically. The GFS model hints at a significant severe weather day somewhere in the southern plains by this Friday. If that Friday trough comes through, we could be talking about the first major outbreak of June 2026. Sandy, a retired school teacher in Oklahoma City, you better believe it. Friday is the one to watch. I need to come back. The June pattern is not easing up, and here is exactly why. Let me break down the science behind the heat dome building in the southern plains after June 8th. The omega block we are in right now is the atmospheric equivalent of a traffic jam above. High pressure at the center of the omega block acts as a compression blanket, trapping heat below. Every degree of compression in that blanket translates into roughly 3 degrees of surface temperature increase. That is why Wichita could go from 90 degrees today to 105 degrees by June 8th. In Alva, Oklahoma, Buffalo, Oklahoma, and Woodward, Oklahoma are inside the hottest zone. 110 degrees is possible. A heat index of 110 degrees causes heat exhaustion in healthy adults within 30 minutes of outdoor exposure. Agricultural workers, landscapers, and roofers in the southern plains face life-threatening heat next week. OSHA guidelines recommend mandatory work stoppage at a heat index above 103 degrees. Most ignore this rule. The overnight low temperatures next week will be in the upper 70s and low 80s across Oklahoma. High overnight low temperatures prevent the human body from recovering from daytime heat exposure. 3 consecutive nights above 75 degrees without air conditioning, no joke. That is a dangerous event. Every elderly resident in the southern plains without air conditioning needs to be checked on daily. Cooling centers in Wichita, Oklahoma City, Amarillo, and Lubbock will be critical lifelines flat out. Now contrast that heat with the northeast Boston at 58 degrees and Phoenix at 110 on. A 52-degree difference between Boston and Phoenix on the same afternoon is historically unusual in early June. That temperature gradient is what drives severe weather. The atmosphere always tries to balance the difference. The stronger the gradient, the more violent the severe weather that forms along the battle zone boundary. Right now, that battle zone runs from Texas through Kansas and Nebraska, exactly where severe weather. This is not random, this is physics, and physics is telling us June 2026 will be... Here's the summer outlook every Plains and Midwest family needs to hear before July arrives. The derecho season traditionally runs from late June through mid-August, and 2026 looks like an active year. A derecho last summer in Iowa produced a 500-mile damage swath with 90 mph winds in one night. That single event knocked out power for 450,000 customers in 5 states and lasted under 12 hours total. The northwest flow storm track that develops after June 8th is the exact breeding ground for derechos. Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, and Kentucky face their highest derecho risk from July 1st through August 15th. Anyone with a farm operation, grain storage, or outdoor business in that corridor plan now for summer. Solar panels, metal buildings, greenhouses, and high tunnel farms are all vulnerable to 90 mph straight-line winds. The second summer story is extreme heat. Wichita at 105 and Alva at 110 degrees by. Heat index values near 115 degrees are possible in the southern plains by the second week of June. A heat index of 115 is medically dangerous in under 30 minutes for elderly Americans and outdoor workers. Phoenix hitting 110 today is expected. Wichita at 105 in early June is not normal or safe. Mark my words, the heat in the southern plains during the second week of June breaks records. Third story, Atlantic hurricane season opened June 1st with warm Gulf waters, but El Nino suppressing activity. Gulf of Mexico sea surface temps are 2 degrees above normal. Any homegrown system gets extra fuel. Here is what the first half of June looks like. Hear this clearly today. The second week of June is when troughs eject over the Rockies. Severe weather escalates rapidly. Chicago, Minneapolis, and Sioux Falls, plain and simple. Start building your plan before June 8th arrives. The June 8th pattern shift is the single most important date on the weather calendar right now. After June 8th, the Northern Plains storm track activates North Dakota, Montana, and Wyoming will get busy. The derecho corridor from Iowa through Kentucky becomes the highest risk severe weather zone by mid-June. Every family in Des Moines, Cedar Rapids, and Chicago, I kid you not, needs a... The Midwest drought is intensifying fast between now and June 5th. Hardly any rain falls. Parched soil creates extreme heat in the boundary layer, good lord. That feeds more dangerous instability. By June 8th, temperatures near Wichita, Kansas could reach 105 degrees Fahrenheit. Intense heat is building. Some areas near Alva, Buffalo, and Woodward, Oklahoma could approach 110 degrees by the end of next week. The Ohio Valley and Northeast will run 8 to 11 degrees below normal through Thursday. Remarkable contrast. This is one of the most dramatic coast-to-coast temperature contrasts we have seen in early June in years. Across most of the Midwest, 0 to half an inch of rain falls between now and June. Mark my words, by June 12th, the Southern Plains severe weather season roars back with full vengeance. Here's another story building off the southeast coast that 50 million people need to know. A low-pressure area is spinning up just 50 to 60 miles offshore, the North Carolina Outer Banks. The GFS model shows this energy organizing and drifting slowly off the Outer Banks and mid-Atlantic coast. The European AI model develops a secondary low near the Outer Banks by Wednesday close enough. Bermuda and the Eastern Carolinas heads-up monitor this system daily for impacts by Wednesday afternoon. Breezy 30 to 40 mph conditions and larger swells will affect beachgoers along the 500-mile east coast. This is not a named storm, it is a cold hybrid low with 40 to 50. A separate area of energy is spinning in the Gulf of Mexico, no joke, watch it carefully. The Gulf energy is surrounded by dry air from the digging trough. Tropical development remains unlikely. By late this week, as the trough retreats, Gulf energy could kick up rough coastal seas. Cape Hatteras and the Outer Banks communities, watch your local NWS forecasts daily starting Monday morning. Donna, a retired nurse near Myrtle Beach, keep watching the coast all week. Conditions will fluctuate. Let me give you the temperature picture city by city for the first week of June starting today. Houston, highs of 31 to 33 Celsius, scattered afternoon storms, localized flash flooding risk daily. Dallas and Austin, 31 to 34 Celsius, afternoon and evening, thunderstorms, flash flooding risk Tuesday. New Orleans, 30 to 32 degrees, high humidity, repeated rounds of heavy thunderstorms and rain. Atlanta, 28 to 31 degrees, afternoon storm chances daily through Wednesday with lingering Gulf moisture. Kansas City and Omaha, 28 to 32 Celsius with severe storm risks Monday through Tuesday evening. Denver, 3 to 26 Celsius, afternoon storm development Monday with decreasing chances by midweek. Chicago, pleasant, 24 to 28 Celsius with only isolated storm chances through the first week of June. New York, 22 to 26 Celsius and surprisingly dry and pleasant for the first 3 days. Los Angeles, 21 to 24 Celsius, sunny and beautiful, no weather concerns through next weekend. Phoenix, 38 to 41 Celsius with dangerous heat and a heat index near 110 degrees into June. I want to talk directly to several cities that have been requesting updates throughout this entire week. Minneapolis, Minnesota, you are in the flash drought zone. Expect highs near 88 by the weekend. Milwaukee, Wisconsin, your storm window is Wednesday morning with a wet and windy commute likely. Cincinnati, Ohio, you are in the cooler air pocket this week with temperatures 8 degrees below normal. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, dry and pleasant through Thursday. Isolated storms return by Friday afternoon. Boston, Massachusetts, the coolest early June in years. Temperatures holding in the upper 50s through Friday. Washington, D.C. and Baltimore, good grief. Below normal temperatures and dry conditions all week long. Richmond, Virginia, watch for coastal impacts Tuesday and Wednesday from the offshore low-pressure system. Charlotte, North Carolina, daily afternoon storm chances with the stationary boundary overhead all week. Raleigh, North Carolina, no joke. Flash flood watch possible Tuesday and Wednesday from training storms. Tampa, Florida, heads up. Daily afternoon storms continue with a heavier event possible Thursday. Miami, Florida, typical June tropical moisture pattern. Afternoon storms daily with some heavy downpours. New Orleans, Louisiana Gulf moisture surge brings heavy rainfall Tuesday and Wednesday, no joke. Flooding. Memphis, Tennessee, your Monday severe weather window is early morning. Have warnings enabled when sleeping. St. Louis, Missouri, Monday morning MCS impacts from 3 to 7 a.m., then clearing by afternoon. Cleveland, Ohio, below normal temperatures and mostly dry through the week with only isolated storms. Detroit, Michigan, pleasant and dry through Wednesday. Isolated storm chances Thursday afternoon. Minneapolis, again, the flash drought is real and your lawns and gardens will show stress by... Wherever you're watching from tonight, drop your city in the comments for a personalized forecast update. Earl, a retired teacher near Rapid City, South Dakota, your Tuesday window is 3 to 8. Drop your city in the comments. The most requested location gets dedicated coverage in tonight's full update. Here's your complete action plan for tonight, and this week threats are real and timing matters. Tonight, Kansas City, Topeka, and Lawrence. If you hear a tornado siren after 9 p.m., shelter immediately. If you hear that siren after midnight, do not look outside to confirm. Move to shelter. Monday, Kansas and Nebraska, 60 to 80 mph gusts are possible. Cover vehicles and secure loose equipment. Tuesday, Montana, North Dakota, and South Dakota be inside a shelter before 3 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. Wednesday, Texas Panhandle and western Oklahoma, all hazards are possible again. Heads up all day long. A battery-powered NOAA weather radio is the most important $30 investment your family can make today. Know your county name. Every tornado warning and watch is issued by county, not by city. Mobile home residents in Kansas, Nebraska, and Missouri leave before severe storms fire tonight, not after. Keep your phone charged to 100% every night this week. This pattern reloads every single day. You better believe it, this June is going to demand your full attention from the first hour. Before we close, what is the one thing you are most worried about in this forecast today? Is it the Kansas City tornado tonight, the derecho next week, the drought, the coastal spin? Every single one of those threats is real, documented, and based on official NWS and SPC forecast data. Every single one affects a different 10 to 50 million Americans, sometimes the very same ones. This is what June 2026 looks like, not one extreme, not two extremes, but 5 simultaneous extremes. The Omega block is the common thread creating the drought, heat, and severe weather all at once. When this block finally breaks around June 8th, it does not end the threats, it rotates them. The heat moves north, severe weather tracks north, no two ways about it. A new chapter begins. I will be here for every chapter, every model run, every SPC update, every tornado watch tonight. This forecast exists for one reason flat out, to make sure you have the information to stay safe. Drop your city in comments tonight. I read every comment and personally respond to the most urgent. If your city is inside a tornado watch tonight, comment the word watch and I will. Wherever you are tonight, Kansas City, Sioux Falls, Birmingham, or Cape Hatteras flat out, stay aware. The storm does not care about your plans, but I do, and that is why before we close tonight, I want to give you the most important severe weather preparation checklist of... Number 1, every American in the central U.S. should have a battery-powered NOAA weather radio tonight. Cell towers fail in widespread severe weather. Your phone alarm will not sound if towers are... Number 2, mark my words, identify your shelter room before storms fire, not during the warning. The lowest interior room of a permanent structure, away from all windows, is your safest place. Number 3, cover all vehicles by 3 p.m. today in Kansas, Nebraska, Oklahoma, and Missouri. Golf ball-sized hail falls at 90 millibars. It destroys paint, glass, and electronics in under 60 seconds. Number 4, fill every vehicle gas tank before severe weather arrives. Stations close when power fails. Number 5, have a 72-hour supply of water, food, and medications for every person in your household. 1 gallon of water per person per day for 3 days means a family of 4 needs. Number 6, write your family's emergency contact on paper. Phones die and passwords are forgotten. Number 7, if a tornado siren sounds, you have approximately 10 minutes to reach shelter safely. Number 8, mobile home residents must leave now. No mobile home is rated for EF1. An EF1 tornado produces 86 mph winds. Mobile homes begin structural failure at 80 mph sustained winds. Number 9, after the storm, check for gas leaks before turning on any electrical switch or light. Number 10, check on your elderly neighbors after every severe weather event in your neighborhood. The people most likely to die in severe weather events are elderly Americans living alone without warning. Your neighborhood check after a storm could be the most important thing you do this entire week. 13 million in the marginal, 2.57 million in the slight risk. A nocturnal tornado window after 9 p.m. The June pattern is loaded, reloading every 24 hours through June 12th with no break in sight. Check back tonight. If a tornado watch drops near Kansas City, I will go live immediately.